which means we can start the countdown here for the first match in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Both players have started. The seat seems to be correct, and there are also no capture issues. I state that because sometimes when you use Nessus gems it doesn't recognize game starts. Don't ask me why exactly, it sometimes just doesn't. Yeah, both players now getting one Tetris here in the beginning. Shouldn't expect big issues here, as in these are high level players. And topping out early is not something that they normally do. I say normally because you can always have a bad day, for example. So yeah, let's see how they will do and how amazing this matchup might be here today. In the beginning, NEK0 was able to already get a bit of a lead here of about a bit less than a Tetris, 19,000 points. It is 73 against 93. Yeah, both players. I mean, it's 18. I would expect both players to be pretty relaxed here for now. Like the time that you spent on level 18 should be time where you can just play aggressive and get as many Tetrises without really needing to worry about your stack. And just when we begin to start getting into 19, it might get a bit differently slowly but surely. And NEK0 going for a bit of a dirty Tetris here, gets the long bun Tetris, and yeah, that's exactly what you just do in 18. Play aggressive all the way, and here's now the next Tetris to NEK0, getting hit by about 2 Tetrises. Of course, it's different when you get long droughts, like what I said earlier about playing aggressive on 18. When you get 40 plus piece droughts, then yeah, at that point maybe you should start to get into burning. And we had a couple of seats yesterday where we had many 30 plus droughts happening in a row. So let's see if maybe today's RNG, as in the classic Tetris bot generator, is a bit kinder towards the players. We get the next Tetris here now to NEK0, 215 for Iball against 280 here for NEK0, as we're getting close to being halfway done with the first level 18. And Trevor's in the chat saying, "Let's go Iball," and some Canada love. Well, I assume the Canada flag is showing love from Canada. And Iball gets the T-spin, nice. Well, we have a bit of a drought here, but only 15 pieces. Which shouldn't be something that surprises these players. You get, let's say, up to 20 piece droughts in essentially every game that you play. And point-wise, it's a bit closer than the pure score looks like, because Iball played a couple of less lines, so it should be neck and neck here, 2 Tetris lead, and NEK0 has played 2 Tetrises more. And here's now the next Tetris to Iball, and a small burn here for NEK0. Next Tetris to NEK0. Yeah, these line differences do matter, just because 4 Tetrises equals about 24,000 points. So if you're 24,000 points set and have played 4 more lines, that means that you don't have a lead, as in the opponent can get the same points in the next 4 lines. And here's now the Tetris for NEK0. And what I just explained is what we generally refer to as the pace. Next Tetris to Iball again. 451 against 471. And one more Tetris here to Iball, and now Iball has the lead here, having a couple of 1,000 points more than NEK0. Iball now being a bit... You're looking for O pieces or double Js, but in this case not double Ls. Here in his Kadam 3-4 is a bit not the greatest stack in, or was not the greatest stack in Kadam 3-4, but was able to work around that mostly in a nice way. Led to a couple of burns here now, but should be open in this piece, which means Tetris for Iball into 524 against 562. We could get a double 600k transition actually. But that does depend on how aggressive Iball can play here now. He would need to get every possible Tetris and not burn a single line, I believe. Here's now the next Tetris to Iball. We have a 609 already here for NEK0. NEK0 could get 2 more Tetrises. Tetris to Iball. Okay, Iball needs 7k in order to get a 600k transition, which means 1 more Tetris is required here for Iball, having no line to burn for that. But of course, it's better to go for the safe transition, but no. With a 655 transition and a 617 transition, so massive transitions here from these players, and on 19 they also continue to just play aggressive and go for Tetrises, with about a 1.5 Tetris lead here for NEK0 in the transition. Yeah, Iball catching out the 600k, really waiting for the next long bar here in the last single, not single, the last Tetris for the transition to get the 600k. And the 19 also, as we expect, looks like they just continue to play aggressive here. Oh, but we get a small drought here. NEK0 gets the Tetris, Iball gets a small close duel here, meaning he needs to burn just a couple of lines. Is now open again and gets the next Tetris for Iball, also Tetris here for NEK0. 759 against 843, the lead has increased to about 3 Tetrises now. And we can see 1 more Tetris here now to NEK0 and to Iball. 815, 873, so both of these players definitely on a 19 max out pace, which is to be expected when you get a 600k transition. Small drought now of 24 pieces, and we get the Tetris here for Iball, and no more for Iball. NEK0 wasn't able to Tetrises there, which means I was able to catch up a bit here in points. It is now down to about a 1 Tetris lead here, now down to a neck and neck situation between Iball and NEK0, but NEK0 is only now getting clean again. In the lines they felt the same amount. And there's a drought of about 20 pieces and Tetrises here for both players, and Iball saying the Poland flag. Yes, Iball does have a Poland flag in his background. Some players do like to represent the country that they are from. And next step is also to Iball. Okay, neck and neck, only 7k between these players at the same amount of lines. NEK0 just closed the well. And Iball takes the lead here. Melk asking, am I playing after this match? I believe that you are scheduled to play after this match, assuming that Peek is here. But yeah, the schedule is this match, then Melk against Peek, and then it is F-Geek against Tidewind. Level 28 is now being reached. We have a double 1.1. Iball having the lead here. Next set was going to NEK0. And let's see how the level 29 will go. Level 29 is now being reached by NEK0. NEK0 is led by bit. Iball is pretty high here. He gets 1 more Tetris. And now he needs to stack down, gets the perfect pieces to open up the world, gets a Tetris. And it is 125. 1.125 against 1.189. I'm just gonna admit the max out here. Like the billion score, just focus on the thousands. So there's 2.7 against 1.9 here. NEK0 going for center well, gets the center well. It's about a 1 Tetris lead here currently for Iball. And yeah, Iball now going for the 1 high Tetris here. NEK0 is getting a bit dirty here, wants to find a way to clean this up and gets nice pieces to get the burning done. Nice. And yeah, NEK0 is downsticking nicely here, as we always hope for. But point-wise, he's falling behind a bit, especially as Iball now getting the next set with small TP's misstep here from Iball. And NEK0 is getting higher, gets next long over to the left, perfect. Again down clicking here, Iball also a bit of trouble here having the long bar, the LPs, and tops out at 1.36 and NEK0 tops out at a 1.27. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Both players have started, the seed is the same, the placements also are the same. And let's see when the placements will be different, but up until the first Tetris they are the same, still the same, still the same. Yeah, most sensible placements. Oh, but now there's a small difference and NEK0 gets the next Tetris, whereas Iball still needs to build up the next Tetris here. So for now the efficiency is slightly in favor of NEK0 potentially. And yeah, NEK0's stacking was a bit nicer here at that moment. Now the next Tetris for both of them. And of course NEK0 is ahead by about a Tetris and points, but here's now the next longbow to Iball. And now Iball getting ahead by the bit of burning that he did earlier, the two singles. Next Tetris to NEK0, next Tetris to Iball. Yeah, this is now the speed where I hope that the players can get many points. Maybe we can get one more double 600k transition here. But even when you're rolling a double 600k is not a given thing to expect. Too much RNG involved for that, like longbow timings for example. And even the amount of longbows that you get. I'm talking about longbow timings, you have a route approaching here now of about 20 pieces. NEK0 was close for that, and Iball managed to stay open, gets the Tetris here. And now the next Tetris to NEK0. Yeah, it's just pretty much efficiency here from both sides. A bit in favor here of NEK0, who is currently a 90% Tetris rate compared to the 80 from Iball. Oh, didn't get the TPs over for the Iball here, which means also that blue SPs. Means he now needs to get the longbow over to the left. He wants the longbow doesn't come. He's no longer open again, gets the longbow, also gets the longbow over, perfect. LJ dependent gets the red LPs. Now wants one more, JPs gets the JPs and the blue SPs, over taps the blue SPs and the red LPs, which means NEK0. You have won your first game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Of course, both players have now started. The seed also is the same. Meaning, let's see how this will go. And we get a simul Tetris and a second Tetris here for NEK0. Iball is now Tetris ready again for this longbow, gets the Tetris. And NEK0 is now Tetris ready. Iball gets Tetris ready, getting a single burn here. And NEK0 just closed the well, the LJ dependency. Not the nicest situation here for NEK0, now also going into longbow dependency, which could turn into a does decide to go against the dirty Tetris here. Which means that just playing a bit safer. And that was a 24-piece route, I believe, so should be the longest that these two players have had in this match. Point-wise, it's about a 2 Tetris lead here for Iball at 101 against 54. But NEK0 getting 2 more Tetrises here, which means it is now neck and neck. And the 2 lines difference... I mean, technically half Tetris in pace, but yeah, it's neck and neck between Iball and NEK0, but Iball got a Tetris, whereas NEK0 is now only Tetris ready. Iball also needs a single now here to get Tetris ready again to open the well. And it is Tetris to NEK0 and Tetris to Iball. And one more to NEK0, so Iball's a bit ahead in the piece sequence and is ahead by about a Tetris now in points. It is 172 against 149. And we see one more Tetris here to NEK0 now waiting for the optimally G piece. Other solutions also work, like spins of an, I think, blue S piece. But a G piece is just the cleanest solution where you don't need to burn any lines. And next set is now going to NEK0. The blue S piece, not really that useful, but getting a nice longer burn here. And next Tetris to NEK0, next Tetris to Iball. And we can see the Tetris lead here still being existent for Iball, both players getting one more Tetris. And we are getting close to the halfway point of level 18, and I believe Iball is in a 600k transition pace, whereas NEK0 is on a roughly 500k transition pace. No, that's also about a 600k transition pace. I read a number incorrectly. I had some issues with my glasses today, like cleaning them just before the stream, so I don't wear them currently, and apparently I misread a number, which has not happened before, so I expected it to work. Okay, next set was going to Iball, next set was going to NEK0. 358 against 322, meaning about a 1.5 Tetris lead here now for Iball. And NEK0 being in a bit of a burning situation here again. Ooh, adjusting perfectly for that upcoming L piece here. Well, wasn't a big adjustment, was getting the T piece instead of the right side to the left side. And NEK0 go from a one high Tetris setup here as we are approaching the 90 lines, which means next Tetris going to NEK0. 412 for Iball against 374 for NEK0. Iball being back-to-back Tetris ready, or was back-to-back, is now getting the next Tetris here and is now ready again for the next one even. And Tetris here for Iball also being ready for the next Tetris. Point-wise, it's about a 2.5 Tetris lead here for Iball. NEK0 getting a weird L spin there. I believe that was an early spin. He wanted to spin the long bar and instead accidentally spinned that L piece, which has put it in this higher position. And now Tetris readiness again here for NEK0. Already about 100k here behind Iball. We have 526 against 424. Both players getting one more long bar and Tetris here. And we're getting close to the level 19 transition. Only about 15 lines left to go, which means both players could get about 4 Tetrises, but not any line to burn here. Here's the next Tetris to Iball, burns the single, getting the S-pin here. And NEK0 is waiting for something with Tetris ready here. He doesn't use the long bar on the right side, instead burns. Gets the next Tetris. And Iball is looking at a 600k transition. NEK0 is hoping for a mid 500k transition. We have 540 transition for NEK0, 623 transition here for Iball. And the 19 Tetrises have also just started. We have about an 80,000 point lead here in the transition for Iball. Let's see if NEK0 will be able to catch that up until the level 29 transition. Next set is going to NEK0. Or if Iball will be able to stay ahead until level 29 and maybe even up until level 39. At 39 we have the double kill screen, and hopefully both players have the double kill screen activated. And we can see Iball burning a couple of lines here, which in theory allows NEK to get ahead, but the long bar just doesn't come as you have a small drought now. And NEK going for, I feel like, a miss flip, which leads to a bit of burning, but here the long bar just didn't come, and here's now finally the Tetris for Iball and NEK. 768 against 686. It's about a 50k lead here now for Iball, meaning that NEK was able to get a bit closer. But now Iball has increased the lead once again. Yeah, this 19 is looking quite nice again for these two players. And unlike in the last game, Iball also has managed to not get any really high issues through the stack. He got that on 18 earlier in the last game. Next Tetris now for Iball, looking to max out in just a couple of lines, maybe the next Tetris. NEK0 is only at 847, which means you have a 130k lead here for Iball, and Iball now getting the max out. NEK0 is about 4 Tetrises here behind Iball as we are level 26, which means level 27, 28. Come up soon, and that's the last couple of levels here on 19 speed, at which point it will increase massively in speed here. And now NEK0's capture having some small issues. I believe he is Tetris ready, level 17 is just not getting captured properly. Iball is now transitioning soon, he's in level 28 at 1.12. NEK0's board now looking good again, perfect, so that was just some level 27 shenanigans color-wise. And NEK0 also getting the max out soon. Iball looking to transition at a 1.2, and yeah, 1.2 transitioned here into level 29 here for Iball, whereas NEK0 will only get, yeah, something like, yeah, 1.0 to say maybe mid 1.0, but only max out and some change here for NEK0 in the transition. But both players going for some Tetrises here. The lead has now increased to about a 6 Tetris lead here for Iball, or about 200k. Iball's not Tetris ready again, NEK0's Tetris ready. Iball gets longbow over perfect, has a small hole here in the stack, needs to burn a couple of lines, overtaps that J piece here. NEK0 is, yeah, gets longbow and Tetris to NEK0. Iball gets the longbow over, nice. And Iball is stacking down, gets the perfect pieces here now, and is essentially clean again. NEK0 is looking for the center world here, center world Tetris to NEK0. NEK0 has been able to catch up about 100k, the 6 Tetris lead is now down to a 3 Tetris lead. It is 1.39 against 1.27, so the 220-240 is now down to a 220 lead here. And next Tetris is going to NEK0. Iball is still again a bit dirty here, which means cleanup to do here, whereas NEK0 can just go for Tetrises, and NEK0 is chasing this down amazingly well, I have to say. Next Tetris here going to NEK0, only about 15k here now behind Iball. Ooh, and nice tucks here for NEK0 on level 29, getting 1 Tetris and now having the lead here against Iball. Iball can now go for the next Tetris, gets the Tetris here, 1.52 against 1.49. Just half a Tetris difference here between these two players at this point. And they're going for Tetrises and Tetrises and Tetrises again. Tetris to NEK0. Iball just closed the world here again, which means a bit of burning. NEK0's the lead, gets the next Tetris here. Iball going for 1 high, doesn't get the longbow over, gets the next longbow over, nice. Now NEK0 needs to burn a couple of lines here. We are level 38, this is the last couple of lines here. And this is where Iball needs to get ahead. Yes, he's playing aggressive, going for the Tetris, waiting for the longbow. NEK0's topping out soon, so Iball needs the longbow, gets the Tetris, and this is the 2-1 for Iball. Oh, what a transition, what a level 29 we just had. This was amazingly well played here by NEK0 and Iball. NEK0 was behind by over 200k when he got into level 29, managed to play aggressive, get the Tetrises, and then get ahead up until level 38, where Iball finally got clean again, and somehow managed to overtake NEK0 here, getting 2 final clutch Tetrises here. And let's start the match point for Iball here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. I also got the question, what is this playlist? So the completely honest answer is, I have many different songs, like 500 different songs from 2 sources. And this is a song, or Simon Tetris here by the way. This is a song as far as I know from the Streamers Palettes by Diverse Systems. That's what you hear now. And then you also hear songs that are from a publisher named Game Chops, who have, I don't know how many songs that are freely available to use on streams. And yeah, I'm using those two mainly, or like I think only nowadays. Like you can use them for free on streams and it's no issue, which is great. And they also are high quality music that should fit everyone and not be offensive to anyone. So I hope that answered your question. And yeah, I just have them downloaded on my PC and in a folder and just put them into a media source, into OBS, and said shuffle this. Fierce Naked first in the chat saying get the Killscreen. We had an amazing level 29 action happening earlier here, where NEK0 was behind by about 200k and still managed to get ahead, but then topped out just before the end of level, like the Killscreen on level 38, which is to an Iball. Got clean again and managed to overtake NEK0 in like the last couple of lines here. And in this game we currently have about a 2.5 Tetris lead here for NEK0. It is 151 against 209 here. And next Tetris to Iball. I think this is the first time that Iball has been behind on level 18. Fierce Naked saying he's using his foot, never seen that technique. What you are seeing is called rolling, and it's just a grip that he is using where he puts the controller on the foot to have the best, like for him, best grip too. As you can see, uses left hand to push the D-pad against his right hand's thumb, which is just the fastest way that we currently know to play NES Tetris, where you can get up to the 30 Hertz input limit that NES Tetris has. And yeah, I hope that explained what he's doing there, and at least kinda like the general idea. It is about a 75k lead here for NEK0. Oh, and Iball most likely does something similar, we just can't see it. I would say most players either use their knee or their foot to stabilize the controller. Thigh knot. Well, okay, it's the thigh, not knee. I was like, is it the knee? And I was like, I think the knee. It's the knee. Because, you know, English is not my native language, and my brain was like, okay, yeah, that's the knee. But yeah, it's the thigh. Also, there's some players who still tap, and I believe they sometimes also use like their legs in general to stabilize the controller, or like to put a board on the legs, for example. So yeah, in general, using more parts of your body to hold the controller is not that new. It is 411 for Iball against 45 for NEK0. And yep, as Melk says, it's easier to tap when the controller is supported. Exactly, it just makes the most sense. Like when you use dash, you generally don't need to stabilize your controller that much because you don't have this ongoing force in your controller, whereas when you tap or like roll, you have an ongoing force. Like you can just see it on NEKO's screen perfectly. Every press, yes, exactly, is input and pushes the controller. Yeah. Style saying, if you want to sound smart whenever you don't know what to say, just say I don't know the English word, even if English is your only language. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. In my case, it's kind of funny because my native language is German, and sometimes I know the word but not in German. So for example, I also speak Japanese, so I speak 3 languages. Japanese, English and German. And German is of course my strongest language. But sometimes I'm like, okay, how do I say this? And my brain's like, okay, this is how you say it in Japanese. And then I have no idea what to say in German or English. So yeah, this is just what happens when you know multiple languages. And even if it's just something basic. Okay, level 19 transition has just happened for Iball, 600k. And also for NEK0, also 600k. And small lead here currently still for NEK0 of about 10,000 points. So let's see how this game will evolve on level 19. It is still neck and neck here between these players. About a 1.5 Tetris lead here for NEK0. Next Tetris going to Iball. And one more Tetris now going to Iball again. Like saying same, sometimes I feel like my English is better than my Dutch. Yeah, this is just how being bilingual at least works. You do words in different languages. In my case, when I'm like, I know how to say this in Japanese, I sometimes realize that there's actually no good way to say the same in a different language because just of how culture works, for example. Oh, I will now looking for a T-spin. Perfect, gets the T-spin. And so the basic example is in Japanese, when you start working with someone, you say like Yoroshiku onegaishimasu, which you could try to translate as I'm looking forward to working with you, but they are so much more implied that you just can't fit into English or German easily. And yeah, I was kinda high here, waiting for the long bar as we have a drought here of 27 pieces. Gets the long bar and Tetris for Iball. NEK0 is also in the drought here, is a bit behind in the piece sequence, and we can most likely see Tetris here for NEK0. Yes, it is 857 against... No, it's Simon Tetris. 887 against 827, so 60k difference here between these players. NEK0 not getting the T-piece in time for the T-spin here, which means a bit more burning to do. Iball gets the next Tetris, which means increasing the lead a bit. And NEK0 should be able to go for Tetrises again, soon at least, when he has cleaned these two lines. Perfect, Tetris to Iball, Tetris to NEK0. And there's a 1-13 lead here for Iball. But don't forget, level 29 is something where NEK0 does shine and he can play pretty aggressive and get many points. So even if he's behind by 100, 200, maybe even, yeah, 250 points, 250,000 points of course, NEK0 still has a chance to win this on level 29 plus. And next set was going to Iball, 187 here on level 27, NEK0 is on level 26, it is a 1.1 here for Iball. NEK0 should be able to get the max out soon as well. I'm not fully sure about what his stack state is because of the small level 27 capture issues here. Like the left side where there's nothing inside, it's probably filled in. We saw that with the Tetris and this Tetris as well. And I will just transition to level 29 at 1.2. And a 4.5 Tetris lead here. Next Tetris to Iball, next Tetris to NEK0. So Iball manages to play aggressive here, at least in the beginning of the level 29 transition. Hangs the blue S piece, hangs the T piece here. And Iball NEK0 transitions at 1.1, so only about 100k lead here for Iball in the transition. Next Tetris going to NEK0. It's point-wise a 3 Tetris lead here now for NEK0. For Iball it is 1.27 against 1.16. Next Tetris here going to Iball. Both players looking clean. Now NEK0 waiting for the next long bar here. Gets the long bar one piece to date. Next Tetris is going to Iball here, and NEK0 gets one more Tetris as well. And next Tetris is going to Iball here, so both players, they can play pretty aggressive here. Next Tetris is going to NEK0. Next Tetris is going to Iball. And next Tetris is going to NEK0, so yeah, Tetris is left and right. Now a couple of burns here for Iball, but manages to stay clean during the RAM. And gets one more Tetris here now. And next Tetris is going to NEK0 again. Point-wise, 1.52 against 1.36. So about a 3.5 Tetris lead here now for Iball. Iball has a small hole in the stack. It's kinda high here. Oh, it's high in the middle here. Does get the next number over. Perfect. Stays clean and low again. Okay, NEK0 is also cleaning up now a bit. Which means he can't use this chance to get closer to Iball. The line difference, by the way, is 12 lines, so 3 Tetrises. If we take that into consideration, it is neck and neck here. Pace-wise, it's less than half the Tetris difference here. Small LPs misdrop here now for NEK0. Iball is cleaning up still a bit here, which, yeah, NEK0 can't capitalize on this game. In the last game, he was able to get really close, but 3 Tetris difference here at 12 lines. So it matters for both players here to get as many Tetrises done as possible. Okay, now up to 4 Tetris lead, down to 3 Tetris lead again at about 10 lines difference. And next Tetris here going to NEK0 on level 38 and 37 respectively at a 1.7 here for Iball, by the way. Next Tetris to Iball, nearly the 1.8. Iball could get the 1.8 here and gets the 1.796. Amazing score here from Iball. And now this is on NEK0. NEK0's 3 Tetrises behind. Has 12 lines left to go, gets the Tetris. Oh no, he misdrops the OPs, and this could be it for NEK0. Yeah, he gets the Nox longbow also not over. Which means Iball takes this game and wins the match. It is now 3, 2, 1 for Iball. And we have a double 1.7. Nearly a 1.8 and 1.7 even. Holy! This was amazing scores here by these players. Like, so high level, just what we saw here. And yeah, Iball, congratulations for winning. Cobra, where 3 people voted for me and 2 people voted for Cobra. So I'd say it's pretty neck and neck here between me and Cobra. And next lumber and Tetris here for me. Beam has kinda wits there, but she's not really going for it. Yeah, she is not a funny person. That is a bit of a pun in German, because in German Witz, as in W-I-T-Z, but pronounced the same as V-I-T-S in English, means joke. And as I'm a German, I might do these bad puns. Just means saying that is so funny, she tried as hard as she could not to Witz. You could also see it like that, like she had 3 opportunities or so to do the Witz, and she just was like, no, I'm not gonna do a Witz. Many players nowadays just use the Witz as like a standard tactic to play, but apparently not all of them. Which might make sense, like intentionally going for Witz is not always the correct scenario. And you might waste a long bar, but if you already have one because of whatever reason, just go for it. Yeah, it has worked out for her, so don't pay too much attention to what I'm saying here. However, it is 329 against 380. Next Tetris for Cobra, and now about a 3.5 Tetris lead here for Cobra in the beginning. At least in the amount of lines beginning, as we're getting, yeah, just closer to level 19, still over 40 lines left to go here for at least Cobra, meaning it's now at 92 lines here. Next set is going to Cobra. And also one more going to Cobra now. 400 against 450, a 50,000 point lead here for Cobra. And about 30 lines left to go into level 19. Where we might see the first small struggles here. Or at least harder boards to play. And next set was going to Cobra. And one more for Cobra. I thought I saw a new message in the chat, but no, my brain just saw the message from Jasmine, and was like, oh yeah, that's a new message, but it wasn't. Okay, small route here now of 19 pieces. And next set was going to me, so the route shouldn't be too long here. Here's now the longbow for Cobra that he was waiting for. So yeah, Meme is pretty far ahead in the P sequence. Next set is now for both of them. And transition for Meme at 566. And Cobra at 581, so Cobra will have the transition lead here. 566 it was for Meme, for Cobra it could be above 600, and yes. Yes, now the 605 transition for Cobra. So Cobra, pace-wise, being nicely ahead of Meme here. Who, as we established, is currently up 9-0 in games this season. Meaning in theory she should be the favorite against Cobra, who has only won a single game against Doc so far. But in reality, looks like Cobra might actually be the favorite here, and this matchup at this day and at this time. It is 727 against 685, but Cobra's behind by about 10 lines. Which, yeah, he is behind by like 2 Tetrises in lines and only Tetris or so in points. Next set is now going to Cobra, and next set is now going to Meme. We're about halfway through level 19. Cobra having a bit of cleanup here to do, which has allowed Meme, of course, to get a bigger lead. Yeah, Cobra now going for some safety burns here, getting the triple into single. There's no Tetris ready for the next longbar, but had to close the well here, as the well just opened up for the longbar again. Meme also needing to clean up a tiny bit here, is now open again. Waiting for the next longbar as well. And it's still over 1 Tetris lead here for Meme. Now over 2 Tetris lead here. And the pace difference that they had earlier is now also essentially non-existent. Of course, the point difference is also kind of the line difference. Actually, it's a bit in favor of Meme. See, a Meme should transition into level 29, having a small lead at that point. And max out for Meme just happened a bit ago. Cobra is also getting close to his own max out soon. And yeah, Meme now soon on level 28. Looks like she is trying to get as many Tetrises until then as possible. So playing the most aggressive Tetris that she can. And yep, here's the next Tetris now to Meme. Now going for some bit safer setups. 1.12.7 or like 1.127 for Meme. And Cobra can get 2 more Tetrises. And probably will be a bit behind, yes. About a 60k DT in the transition for Meme. Cobra is kinda high, could go for Tetrises if the longbars come. Here's the first longbar to Cobra, Tetris to Cobra. 194 for Meme against 1.116 here for Cobra, so yeah. 2 Tetrises and some change DT here for Meme. Meme going for the next longbar, waiting for the Tetris. Essentially. And here's the Tetris for Meme. Our Cobra hangs a small LPs and gets the OP stuck, nice. Gets the next longbar over, also nice. And yeah, both players here now on level 29, able to go for some Tetrises here and there. Next set is also going to Cobra. Cobra having played 10 lines less and is about 2.5 Tetrises here behind Meme, or like 3.5 now, not 2.5. Meaning that he could manage to catch up to Meme. Let's see if he will be able maybe to. I might be able to. Yes, my OP is placement here for Cobra. Pieces go to the left, nice. And to the right as well. Meme in the meantime just staying clean here. And oh, that's a long overhang for Cobra, which means Meme wins the first game. It is now 1-2-0 for Meme. Meme is most likely just gonna finish the game here. She's now level 37 and we only play until level 39. This means saying Meme in the meantime, also hanging the long bar. Narrator. Okay, let's start the game here. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Also thanks for using a sensible order on to have the game start. Yeah, there was a ton of stuff that happened on that day, surely. Never trust numbers, Holmes. You should trust numbers, but not always. There's a fine line between never and sometimes.